Hi guys, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to discuss about a TestNG important interview questions. So listen carefully, guys. In every interview, they will ask you these kind of questions, each and every topic. So I have been covered each and every important question related to TestNG concept. So let us see one by one. So see guys, the first question is how to set priority in TestNG. So already I shown you practically how to set priority in TestNG is. So let me say one example. So if we are having number of test cases in a class, so we need to execute the test cases in an order. Or if suppose you are having some 10 test cases, you need to execute the you need to execute the ninth test case in the first place, and first test case in the fourth place. So at that situation, you need to mention the priority is equal to 1 in the annotation level. Always you need to set the priority in a annotation level. See, like this, guys. After annotation, you need to set priority is equal to 1, or you can start priority is equal to 2. So see here, for example, I have two methods here. Assume that I am having two test cases here. So for two test cases, for the second test case, I mentioned priority is equal to 0. So if I give the priority is equal to 0, the second test case will be executed first. And the first test case I have given priority is equal to 1. That will be executed in the second place. So see the output here. Test case 2 will be executed first. This will be executed first. Test case 2 will be executed first. And test case 1 will be executed next. So the importance of giving priority is which test case you want to execute first. For the test case, you can give the priority. So that is very important, guys. So next, what are the groups in TestNG? So already I told you, right? So groups in TestNG is, so if you're having number of classes, you need to execute the particular test cases in different classes, right? So you can group all the test cases at a time and you can execute that in the regression point of view. So see guys, the first point here is excellent features which allows us to group test cases. So you can group the test cases. Here we're having an excellent feature in TestNG to group all the test cases. I mean, which are required for us. Next, you can create number of test groups for functional regression, smoke, and run them at once. So different types of testings, right? Functional testing, regression, smoke. For these kind of testings, we can group all the test cases. We can run very easily using groups in TestNG. Next, what are the annotations in TestNGs? Annotations in TestNGs we already discussed, right? So annotation always starts with at the rate test. At the rate test is very important. At the rate symbol is very important, guys. Okay. Some most frequently used annotations are, so we will use annotations in TestNG. Most frequently used annotations are at the rate test, at the rate before method, at the rate after method, at the rate before test, at the rate after test, at the rate before class, and at the rate after class. I shown you how to use these kind of annotations also practically. Okay, so if anyone is not clear about the annotations, you can go back to a video, so you can search there. Next, guys, the fourth question is what are include and exclude methods in TestNG? We discussed, right? Include and exclude methods in the sense is this method will useful to execute the particular test cases. So if suppose include method will use if your class is having number of test cases, so you want to execute the particular test case in the class. You don't want to execute the remaining test cases in the class. So you can use include method. If suppose you don't want to execute that particular test case and you want to execute the rest of all the cases, you can use exclude method. So that is a use of include and exclude methods. So that we will work with the testng.xml file. Next. So see guys, excellent features which allows us to include or exclude test case to execute. Okay. So the next one, guys, what are XML config in TestNG? XML config in TestNG, right? So we discussed and we have seen practical also. What is XML config here is XML level execution is easy. So with the help of XML file, we can execute the number of classes and number of packages very easily. So that's why here I'm saying XML level of XML level execution is easy. Next one is easy to create and manage test suite and test. So we can create the number of tests and we can test suites and we can test all those things very easily. And we can pass parameters from XML file. I told you, right? So here we can pass from XML file to our normal class. If suppose the parameters in the sense, take an example of username, password, and URL. So from our XML file, we can pass these parameters. So assume that these three are parameters: username, URL, password are the parameters. So from our XML file, we can pass these parameters from our actual class. Okay, so there we can execute it. We will get the correct output there. So see the next question, guys. The sixth one. What are parameterization in TestNG? What are parameterization in TestNG, guys? Parameter name is equal to, see, I have given example here. Parameter name is equal to username. See, in this username, we can give some value. Username, suppose ABC. Or username here, mention username here. The value you can give is ABCD. Or come to parameter name is equal to password. Value you can give 1, 2, 3. Okay. So see here, TestNG always TestNG allows us to pass parameters to test from XML file. So what TestNG will do is it will pass the parameters from XML file to our actual class. Okay. So see, we can use it on our test case like this. So like this, see, at the rate test and at the rate parameters I given username, password, or URL, or some data you can give, right? So this is how parameters in TestNG is. Next, what are data providers? So you guys, parameterization and data providers are same. These are the two types in TestNG we can work. So if you can learn about one, I like parameterization. It is very important and easy also, guys. See next, what are data providers in TestNG is? It is a method annotated with at the rate data provider. It is also one annotation, guys. At the rate parameter also is one annotation, and at the rate data provider is also one annotation. Okay, it helps to pass parameters to test. So I told, right. So this data providers will help us to pass parameters to our actual class to test that methods or test cases. All the test cases in the class can use the data providers set. All the test cases in the class, we can use the data providers set. Next, see, what is dependency in TestNG? What is dependency in TestNG, guys? The rate test. The rate test is annotation and depends on method. Depends on, I mean, the test what we are giving, that is a dependency in TestNG. Okay, this is dependency, we can say. Okay. So see, very useful when we have dependencies of test on some other test and depends on groups is also possible. Use it based on our requirement. If needed, we can use, or else can leave it, guys. So this is one type of interview question, an important question. And next here, guys, ninth question, explain your framework. So I did not given any answer here. I did not given any content here. Why? Because if the interviewer asks you explain about your framework, you need to explain all the framework what you have done. Okay, not only TestNG framework or any other Cucumber framework or Maven framework or any other Apache or something like anything. So if the interview asks you explain about our framework, so if the interview tells you explain about TestNG, you need to explain a whole TestNG. Or explain about a Cucumber framework, you need to explain whole Cucumber framework. So that's why I have not given any content here. So if the interviewer asks you explain the framework, you need to explain the whole framework. Okay. Next, see guys, why TestNG? Why TestNG, guys? What is the use of TestNG? So till now we learn, right? So excellent annotations we have. Annotations in the sense at the rate test, at the rate before test, after test, before method, after method, before class, after class. Like this, we are having different annotations, right? And a good reporting of test results. So we can give the report. We are having a good possibility to take the reports in TestNG, right? So manually, if you want to execute, if you want to give the report for your test cases, you need to give report for each and every test case separately. But here for all the test cases, we can give the report very easily and within a less time. Next, grouping of test cases. I shown you right practically. The regression mode, we can group the test cases. Next, suite and package level execution. So here with the help of testng.xml file, we can execute the test cases in different package, in package level, I mean number of packages. Next, XML configuration, I told you. Parameterization, I told you. Adding dependencies, I told you, right? Next, see guys, what is dependency? Next one is, what is dependency? Sorry. What is TestNG? What is TestNG, guys? So this is very important question. What is TestNG? The basic question I have given in the last, the two questions. What is TestNG and what are the advantages of TestNG or JUnit? These are the very important questions. So first of all, the interviewer will ask you these questions only. Okay. So let us discuss about that now. What is TestNG? It is one type of testing framework. It is one type of testing framework which can be used for unit testing, integration testing, end-to-end testing, and system testing. With the help of TestNG, we can do these kind of testings. It provides additional features compared to JUnit. TestNG is having more additional features compared to JUnit. So who will use JUnit is JUnit will be used by the developers in the unit testing point of view. Okay. Next, what are the advantages of TestNG over JUnit? JUnit we can call as Java unit, guys. NUnit is .NET unit. Okay. So now see what are the advantages of TestNG over JUnit is there are three major advantages of TestNG over JUnit. Okay, what are those? The first one is annotations are easier to understand. Annotations are easier to understand. We understand the annotations, right? At the rate test, at the rate after, method before method, after class before class, those and all. So annotations are easier to understand. Test case can be grouped more easily. Test case can be grouped more easily. And next point here we have, guys. Yeah, here already it is there. Parallel testing is possible. Parallel testing is possible. So these are the three major advantages of TestNG over JUnit, guys. Okay, so these are the concepts we discuss in TestNG, guys. Okay, so be careful, be practical, and for the concept you are learning, so work as a practical, work in a real time manner, guys. Okay, so if you're having any doubts, just ping on the comment section. I will clarify your doubts. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. That's all for now. All the best.